So we've all been trying to parse through some of the comments that he made on that interview, trying to understand what he really meant. At one point, he said that he may not do anything, by the way, if Comcast were to make a bid. He made several suggestions around this idea that Rupert Murdoch really likes Disney stock. And so I was curious sort of what you thought he was trying to telegraph.
Well, part of it is, and this is actually well known, is Rupert Murdoch likes stock deals because he doesn't like to pay tax. He likes to roll over into other assets, and a cash deal poses other problems for him.
So the prospect that's hanging out there is that Comcast may, of course, make this bid for Fox if, in fact, the AT&T Time Warner deal is allowed to continue on.
But these are valuable assets. Nobody should be surprised that Comcast, which has already created something that AT&T is trying to emulate, nobody should be surprised that Comcast is going to try to go out and buy the Disney the Fox assets, and especially because we're in a moment where a movie studio, some other networks are very valuable.
What is the decision entirely the Murdochs? How does the vote break down if it goes to the shareholder vote?
And the decision is the Murdochs. I mean, this is they
own
control
voting
the company.
control. That would happen in a situation like this too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we see this with any of these companies that are control stocks. The primary shareholders.
But from a legal liability perspective, it makes it isn't it very difficult for them to turn down a meaningfully higher offer in cash? Am I wrong?
No, it is, and that doesn't mean that Disney won't counter. It doesn't mean that the deal won't get restructured in some way or another. And of course, it's not what Iger is saying. Iger is saying we got a deal. It's been approved. We're going forward. We're going to have to see how this plays out.
Would they have to come back with an equal deal? I've seen things like they'd have to come back with more cash in their deal than stock, but would they have to raise their prospects so that they actually match whatever Comcast would bid?
I think that clearly for a lot of shareholders, an all-cash deal is better. But what's also more likely to happen here is they may end up splitting the baby.
That's what I was going to ask. How does it get carved up?
Yeah,
if there was a carve-up deal to be had here,
well,
but that would require Bob Iger to call Brian Roberts and say, you know what, let's stop this mess, and I'll give you Hulu, and you give me this, and I'll give you that, and we'll just go our merry way.
Yeah, all these companies, while they're competing against each other, they're all friends. I mean, let's not forget that Comcast carries all of Disney's cable networks. And so, and then also, a lot of this doesn't necessarily make sense. I mean, for example, Disney doesn't really know how to manage an asset like Sky, and this is precisely what Comcast knows how to do. So some of this may be nothing more than just getting leverage for assets that each company, or certainly that Comcast, wants to own.
Yeah. What did you make of Disney's earnings themselves and what you saw happening on the video side, which actually seems slightly better than some people had anticipated?
Yeah, I think that what you should expect is there are going to be continued declines in cable distribution. What's interesting is the way that analysts look at this is totally flawed. I mean, they keep saying, well, ESPN costs more than Fox Sports 1, but a viewer doesn't get to choose. Your cable system gets to choose. You don't get to decide a la carte, do I want one or the other? So this reflects an overall downdraft in the cable market, in that there is a lot of cord cutting going on.